Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time since my last video that was not just about GPU prices and a little bit of buying hardware. And to be honest, I haven't had the motivation. I have been home on sick leave since October with my shoulder, and it has been hurting like a motherfucker, but it's a little bit better now. And also because of the winter, my fibromyalgia has just gone through the roof. So I've pain in most of my bodies all the time with muscle twitches and a lot of pain and unpleasantries. But we are going into springtime now, and it's becoming a lot better now. So I have the motivation again, I think, and I will continue with my Optiscaler saga. And today I want to take up Red Dead Redemption 2 because I've had a lot of problems just even getting it to start in the past. And today I wanted to see if I could make it work. And I think I have solved the problem. So let's get into it. I think we start off with just running the game. Establish a baseline of how the game is running. And I am, can we do that before it starts? I think so. I am running this on my 6950 XT. It has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and I have overclocked it a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. And I have given it minus 50 volt offset, and I have overclocked the RAM a little bit. Not a lot, it's like 25 megahertz or something, and I've given it 5% boost on the power side. That's it. So did I change anything? Oh, I don't think so. So that's it from my graphics card. And what I want to achieve in this video is to enable DLSS spoofing. So we use the DLSS vectors in the game, and we can try out some XCSS also, which is not available. There's only FSR2 available in this game, at least when you have AMD. It's important when you install Optiscaler that you have disabled VSync and you are on DX12, because the DLSS spoofing won't work on Vulkan. So that's about it. So we go and put everything to the max to see how we doing. Want to be sure we don't have motion blur and stuff like that on. Where is motion blur? Oh, it would be nice. There it is. Off. So just take motion blur off, and that's the only thing, right? And apply changes. Now we go out and start the game to create our baseline. I have turned on Afterburner in the middle here, so we can see GPU temperatures and CPU temperatures and usage and how much RAM it's using. I am recording on the same computer, so the FPS will tank a little bit, maybe 10-15%. But you will still be able to judge the quality, which is the most important when you compare the two. So first off, let's take it first person. Here we go. Hello, little doggy. So let's take a look how the smoke looks. A little bit dark, you know. I think I would prefer it if there was more sun. What I think I would like to do, we find something like usually grass and shrubberies, the stuff that are shimmering and flickering with the lights, with reflections, but it doesn't seem like there is this problem in this game. And let's just check in settings to see if this is native. I can't remember if we turned on FSR. Where is FSR? There it is. It's off. Okay. So it's native. And we are well over, not well over, around 100 FPS, which I think is very acceptable. I prefer riding in third person in this game because it's very hard to see which way the horse is turning in first person. Oh, here comes the sun. So let's take a ride around town and see if we can notice something. Are the trees flickering or the grass flickering? How is the water puddles and all of such things? It won't be a one-to-one comparison because the weather is changing all the time and you can't control it, unfortunately, but it's dynamic weather, that is dynamic, and even if we load in, that the weather might load different next time. Everything is looking quite smooth. It's a beautiful game. Well done.
What's your problem? You take this back, please.
Oh, let's load that. That was a bit unfortunate. Running around killing a man. It's been a long time since I played this game, so the hotkeys and the mechanics are not fully set in. I was trying to hitch, but it didn't succeed. But we were done with our run. We were going to look at, let's put the horse out in the sun here. Where is the sun? Can't see where the sun is. The sun is over here. I'm gonna put it in first person again and look at the hair. The hair is looking fine. The hair is behaving a bit weird if it's windy because it just stands straight into the side, but it's not so windy right now. Let's look at this. It's a little more muddy. Would be nice if we had a bear here in town, some dancing bears, so we could look at some fur. Fur is on Outtro too. Everything is looking reasonably well here in native. So let's turn on FSR and see if anything changes. I think we just keep it like that and we take FSR on. Quality mode. Go back into the game. Give it a little bit to set in. We do have like 15, 20 FPS more at least. Let's find some horses. That guy took his horse. The hair is a bit worse. Mind you, if you see some screen tearing or something like that, it's because of the YouTube compression. It's 60 FPS and we're running this at 120, so it's a difference between this FPS and what YouTube is rendering. What we're looking at is FPS, and we're looking at glitches in the graphics, like shimmering or flickering with lights or reflections that look odd, something like that. Hair strains, that's the stuff we're looking at here. We're not looking at screen tearing stuff because that will be compression's fault. The hair does look a little bit worse. Do we have some women with long hair?
Go on, get going.
Aren't there a brothel here or something? Let's try to go into the saloon, see if anyone is here.
Oh, hello. Watch your damn self. Oh, you think you're real scary?
There are some women over here.
So cute, scary. Look where you're going.
Let's look at their hair.
Hey, good looking.
It looks fine. It looks a little bit worse. But very acceptable, I think. Very optimized, this game. So the horse is over here still. So let's take a ride around town. Now it starts to rain. It does tax a little bit on the frames. The poop meister. So let's go. Let's see, there is a little bit, if you're shimmering between the trees in the background. But it could be the rain.
All right here, folks.
The great thing about this game is that it doesn't just rain. It actually creates bigger puddles and new puddles on the ground. It's very, very nicely done. Very realistic.
What the hell?
What an idiot, right? Right in front of me. Calling me an idiot. So now we close the game and we install Optiscaler, and for this we use
Like, it's still an algorithm, it's still machine learning.
Goodbye to Hagia City, and we go for Optiscaler. And we find it on GitHub, and we take the latest. You can go into the releases, and for some reason the latest is not on top, but there will also be new beta builds maybe in here available. There's a new beta build on the way, but it's not here yet, so it's only for developers. But oh, that was the latest. If you just click latest here, you will come in and you download this one. I've already downloaded it here, so I will not download it again. And then we go back here and we go into FakenVapi and we download the latest version of this. It's also already downloaded, so I won't download it again. It's the same file. And then we go get the DLSSG to FSR. And this is on another platform. Let's just open it. You can go into here and find the DLSS to FSR, but you won't get all the files if you download the latest one. And I think this is because it's not Optiscaler who's made it, and it's Nexus Mod that distributes the files. So we go into the files and we download the manual one here. You have to log in up here, create an account, or find it elsewhere on the internet, but I'd like to get it from the source. And then download this. Yes. Now we have downloaded them and we are ready. Did we download it twice? I think we did. Oh, let's just delete one of them. So these are the 3 zip files we need. And then we go to Steam and we go to browse local files. And in this instance, we're lucky because not all games open up where the exe file is, and you need to locate this file. These files need to be in the same directory as those. So we start with the Optiscaler files and we just copy them over. You can also, let's do that though. You can let's do it like this. We made this new folder, Optiscaler, DLSS to FSR, and FakenVapi. So this is what we do. Then you don't have to, if you have to inject it into other games, you don't have to go and inject or extract from different zip files. Then you can just copy all of this over. So we copy it into this file, or into this folder. Then we take the FakenVapi into the folder and the DLSS. And these are the files you wouldn't get. You would only get this if you download it in from the GitHub. You don't get this NVNGX, and it does cause a few problems. So now we have made a folder with all the files. These are the same files as we have just extracted. Can we remove this inside? Yeah. So we go back to this one, and now we can just copy all of this. You can either right click after you have marked them all and press copy. You can mark them all and Control C for copy, or you can mark them all and drag them over. But be careful here, because as you can see now, it says move and we have to copy. So you have to press Control down to copy. Then we copy them over. We replace all the files on the destination. Then we go into DLSS overrides. We enable signature override for Optiscaler. Then we go out and we disable NVIDIA signature checks for DLSS to FSR. Then we have to find the setup Windows file. And here it's important, and this is where I went wrong in the past. I always just took DSGI because it supposedly works in every game, but in Red Dead, you have to use the WinMM. So that was where I went wrong earlier. And we say 1 because we have an AMD or Intel GPU, and we want the DLSS inputs, the spoofing. And we press yes for this too. And then we're not quite ready yet. We need to go into the INEI file and we search for update. Update, like that. Here, the FSR4 update, and we need to set it to true. For some reason, it will crash if you don't do this. So we need to save it. Until we save it, it's not really in the file. And then we should be ready to start the game. If we want to get rid of Optiscaler, we just press the remove Optiscaler. But this won't remove all the FakenVapi and the DLSS files, so you have to delete those manually. If you fuck something up, you can always just Control A, delete them all, and then go into Steam. Let's get it up here. Into Properties, Installed Files, and then verify integrity of the game files, and then it will check all the files and it will download new ones. It will take a long time. There's a lot of game files to be downloaded, but if you fuck up, it's not ruined forever. So let's try and start up the game. Sometimes it starts up in a lower resolution, but that's okay. We can just change it afterwards. But like I mentioned, it's important you have it in borderless windowed, and you have to have synchronization off, and you have to start it with DX12. Yes, and we can see down in the corner here, Optiscaler is, yeah, and it changed the resolution. But that's okay. We can see here, Optiscaler is running, so it's successful. So let's see if we got DLSS inputs, which is the main reason why you would do this on an AMD card. You could use this on 30 series cards to get frame generation. And this is what you would use it for, because you already have the DLSS inputs. But it could also be that in some games it runs better with XCSS, and then you could just use that with Optiscaler. So we have to restart. So you might sit there, why would I need this if I have an NVIDIA GPU? And if you have a 5000 series NVIDIA GPU, you don't need it at all. But if you have a 30 series, then you don't have frame generation. And you would get frame generation with Optiscaler. And you could use other upscalers too, that are not necessarily available in the game. So it's very limited, because I don't think I would ever use frame generation, but you could if you wanted. So game is starting again. We go into settings, graphics. And we see here we now have NVIDIA Reflex low latency available. We turn off VSync again, and we're still on borderless. We max it out on the graphics settings. We go down, and you can see now we have DLSS available. If we turn this on, FSR is not available anymore. So now we have the DLSS vectors available, which is very, very nice. We go and open this, and we get rid of motion blur, because that we don't want. Don't know why they keep doing that. I guess it's okay if you have low performance, because it kind of blurs some of the, what's it called, the smudginess out. But let's get into the game quick and see if there's any difference. Just enter. And we were just around 100 FPS before, if you remember. There is one great, oh, there's more than one great thing. There's another great thing with Optiscaler, and if you press the page up key, you will see we will enable the FPS counter up in the top left corner. And if we press the page down button, we will add more stuff to this one. So we can replace Afterburner with just this overlay that doesn't take up as much performance as MSI does. But it doesn't show our VRAM and RAM usage. And as you can see, we are already up at around 15 gigabytes of RAM. So if I had a little bit more of Chrome running in the background, we would get up to 16 gigabytes really fast. So very recommendable to have 32. So, but as we see, performance is much the same, not much it's different. Let's go in and see. Oh, we need to turn on frame generation. So, to make it work, okay. So, we can see now I don't want to, it's like 90 to 115, so performance is much the same. We don't want to spend too much time here because we don't want to play Optiscaler and just play native, right? So let's go in, and we've already run with FSR, so now we try to run with DLSS. And let's take normal quality. I think Outtro quality is at 77 or 76%, and normal quality is just like FSR quality on 67%. I like to run around 30 on sharpening, but we can't see the number here, so we just do whatever it is. So we didn't turn, did we? We did turn anything. I don't know if you want a low latency. I don't think it matters much in this game. It's not a fast pace. Let's try it out at first. So let's get back into the game. Now we're running with DLSS, and we can see we do have like 10 more FPS now. And the game has sharpened up quite a bit. It's noticeable. It's not game changing, but it's noticeable. Let's go to third person. Go find a horse and look at the hair. The hair looks pretty good. How's the white hair is the worst kind of hair. It also looks, yeah, move yourself. Just try and take a stroll around town. Go back to the third person.
What's your goddamn problem? Hey, move it around.
Just turn it down a notch. You wouldn't notice any flickering in. Oh, we're running XCSS. So changed here, and you can see now we don't have FSR4 available, and this is because we need a separate DLL for that. I can show that after this how we do it, and it could be relevant if you're running 7000 series AMD card, because you would actually be able to run it. I can show it also on this card, but it has a lot of ghosting, and I would have to install an old driver, 33.9.1, which is actually able to run it, but then I can't play games like Battlefield 6, and some features in OBS is not available. So it's not really an option, but it can be an option, but I don't want to change driver every time I want to play some game. But everything is looking pretty slick here. reflections are a little bit better, I think. So I think it's not game-changing better, but it's a little better. There are games where the difference is much, much bigger than this game. So let's try and maybe go down to Balanced and see if we can see any difference. My experience is with this card, the graphics card, is that quality is kind of the lowest you want to go, and you can see the reflections out of the window is already not great. Let's take the horse and ride. Oh, how do I get out of that? Like this. Let's try not to kill anyone.
Hello, sir.
Actually, it does look better with FSR settings than with the XCSS, I think. But it could also be down to the random weather patterns. But it looks a little bit sharper with this, and it's also really, I don't think it looks too bad. But it doesn't give us a great performance boost. You can see there is something with the wood boards on the ground here. When we came over here, there were some flickering. I don't know if it was. You can see there is something with those that weren't in the quality mode, and how is hair. It is a little bit worse, especially the white hair here. But it's not a lot. I think it's acceptable. So you could run it in Balanced if you wanted to. What else could we show? What else could we show? Boom, boom. Don't think it makes any sense going down. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go back to quality mode. Yes. No, let's go out and then we install. And how do we do this? I think if we go to YouTube and we go to Fabio, and Fabio runs Ancient Gameplays, and he has a video where he talks about enabling FSR1. We don't have to actually hear about it, but we can go down into his comments here and we can find link to FSR4, the latest Optiscaler, and the int 8 FSR4 here. And we need these. Did we ever install that? No, we didn't, but it works anyway. But This is the files we need to enable FSR4. Oh, I can see this right there already. So we don't need it. And it's the SDK kit. I think I also have this already. It's right here, yeah. So you go in and download these. You open them up. And this is the SDK kit that is delivered to developers from AMD. And this guy has extracted the files needed to use int8 instead of FP8, which enables you to run it on 16 and 17, no, 7,000 and 6,000 series. And you would have to copy this into the game folder, like this, copy, replace destination. These you don't need, because these already come with, let's do it anyway, just for fun, see what happens. Maybe we ruin the game. And then we would need to copy the AMD XCFFX 64 DLL into. This is the one that enables FSR4. So let's try and boot the game up again. The 6,000 series are not able to run FSR4. I would have to download the 23.9.1 driver, and it won't be able to play some games, and it will be missing features I learned to love in AMD drivers. So that's something I would pursue. But if you have a 7,000 series card, you can run it on the newest driver, which I would recommend. At least trying out. You can always just not use it. And then you get the extra fidelity with the DLSS, which is very, very worth it in, not as much in this game, but in many other games. And I will show this in other games in the future. Like next week, I will make another game, and you can, in the comments, if you like to see another game. I don't have very many games. So it could be in Hogwarts Legacy, in Starfield. Let's see what else I have. Kingdom Come Deliverance, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate. It could also be Ark Survival Ascended, which is an Unreal Engine 5.5 game now, and it has drastically good effect in this game. We could also, the Noid 3 demo, Ratchet and Clank. I don't think it works in Witcher 3, but we could try. We also have Mafia. I haven't tried this game, and Mass Effect. I don't know if it works in these games. We can also do Horizon Zero Dawn, the remastered version. And since I don't really earn any money on the channel, so I don't have any income, as I'm on sick leave at the moment, I don't have just 1,000 kroner lying around to buy Crimson Desert, or I would really like Crimson Desert. And also Death Stranding 2 on the beach would also really, really like. But they're quite expensive at the moment, so I have to be wary of how many money I use on stuff like that. But let's get back into the game. Oh, we don't want to go out, we want to go in. I can't remember what we ended using FSR or DLSS, so we have to check in the settings. The 3 DLL files, or maybe I did it in I think I might done it in the wrong order. Okay. Let's see the settings. We did end on DLSS, okay. So now go into the game, we press insert to open it, and now, yeah, I did it the wrong order. So let's go out. It was because I started with this, then I went back and overwrote it with this one. So I have to put this one in here. Replace the file. And open the game again. And now FSR4 should be available when we open Optiscaler. Let's see if it wants to start. I think it's really nice that they've done such a great job with AMD drivers on FSR2. So you don't notice that much of a difference. Big props to Rockstar for that. Because other games have a transforming effect using DLSS. So let's jump back into it. A lot of loading. So we pull down the menu and now we have FSR4 available. We can just try and see what's going on here.
Nice to see real sweat. Keep at it. Hey now.
You see, it starts to ghost and does that a lot, and it's really unplayable. See a lot of ghosting. You can see that characters are getting dragged out, and it's not only characters, also objects. And
Hey! Move it!
see, this won't be a problem on 7000 series. So you should be able to just run FSR4 on 7000 series. You can see I'm running FSR4 now, and it is around the same performance as native. And it should be a little bit better quality. But let's turn to FSR 3.1.5. Get a little bit extra performance. And yeah, that's it pretty much. So the DLL files are the ones that decide what you can and can't do in the Optiscaler menu. But there is don't know how to turn on the 4.1 though. We can try to turn on frame generation, and we use the Newcomb's DLSS. Have to save any, and then we have to restart the game. We could also already see I had 180 FPS. Yeah, we're ready. This will be the last time, and then we're done. Wonder how it is if you're trying to play this on a hard disk, not an SSD. So we have Red Dead Redemption with DLSS inputs on an AMD card with frame generation coming up. Some more loading screen for you. Would you prefer if I didn't do it live and did a cutted version instead? Then I would be able to remove all the loading screens, but it wouldn't be live. So there would be a small disconnect of what we're doing and what we want to achieve, but the format would be shorter. It says DLSS is off. Maybe we can't use frame generation here. But it did say 180 when I logged out, didn't it? So maybe we can't do it. Well, that's unfortunate. Wasted a lot of time for nothing. So, sorry about that, guys. But I think that's it, yeah. If there's something you want to see in the future, just write it in the comments. I will try to help you. And even if it's a game where I don't have the game, I still should be able to somewhat help you. I do have some other games, but I should disclaim that you should never use this in multiplayer games, because it can get you banned for anti-cheat, and some games won't even start up if you use Optiscaler. Like if you play online in Ark Survival Ascended, the game won't start. BattleEye won't allow you. So you have to turn it off. And the same with most multiplayer games like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty and Battlefield. If you use Optiscaler, you will get banned. So don't do that. I don't think I have any fancy game that... We could try No Man's Sky. But it's not really a game. It's more like a simulator. But just for testing, it could be good. But it's not a demanding game where you would need it anyway. It would be better if with some new games. So, well, that's it for this time, guys. I'll see you guys around, and of course, give a thumbs up and write in the comments if you want to see in the future. I think next time I will, unless I get some other request, I would do Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. And we'll look at this next time. So see you guys around, and have fun, and take care, and use your money wisely. See you, Ryan.